In this session, we'll look at quarantine paddocks and why it's an important part of organic standards. The organic standards give the requirements for quarantine paddocks. Here we can read the requirements under the National Standards for Organic and Biodynamic Produce 3.12.4. Any livestock introduced from outside sources other than certified organic livestock must be quarantined from organic stock and the production system for a minimum period of 3 weeks. 3.15.6. Where specific disease or health problems occur and no alternative permissible treatment or management practice exists under this standard, or where treatment is required by law, the following applies. A. Therapeutic use of allopathic veterinary drugs or antibiotics is permitted. After such treatment, livestock cannot be sold as organic or biodynamic. Their products and/or progeny can be marketed as organic or biodynamic after a minimum management period, as outlined in Table 1 of 3.12.3. B. Livestock treated with substances not listed in this standard must be identified and quarantined from other livestock for at least 3 times the withholding period or 3 weeks, whichever is the greater, specified for the treatment under relevant laws. 3.15.6. For a period of at least 12 months after quarantine, such areas shall only be used for livestock production. Crops labelled as organic or biodynamic intended for human consumption can be grown on the area after this period. Quarantine paddocks are important. For example, if you purchase bulls, when they arrive, they are placed in a quarantine paddock for 3 weeks or 3 times the withholding period of any treatments. Be sure to check the vendor declaration if any treatments were used. Once the quarantine period is complete, those bulls can then be moved out with the organic herd and managed organically. These bulls can never be sold as organic. However, as long as they are under organic management, they are able to remain with the organic herd. Quarantine paddocks are also used for when a prohibited treatment is used. For example, an accident results in a cow getting a broken leg and a veterinarian is called to treat and uses antibiotics. This cow loses her organic status, but after completing 3 times the withholding period of the antibiotic used in the quarantine paddock can return to normal management in the organic herd. This cow can never regain her organic status, but must be identified as such prior to returning to the herd. Quarantine paddocks are part of the overall management of your organic production system and are clearly marked as such on your property map and listed in your organic management plan. When selecting your proposed quarantine paddock, it's advisable to choose an area close to stockyards in order to move cattle onto quarantine quickly and without risk of contaminating organic paddocks. For example, a holding paddock next to stockyards with access to water, shelter and feed.